Welcome, folks. I am Jaby Koay, joined by SYNTELL Koay.
That was cracking, baby.
We're looking at my brother's video, Ezra Miller getting fired from Warner Brothers. WB pauses projects, reaction, and thoughts. Thanks so much for joining us, y'all. Please hit that subscribe button, bell icon, all notifications, and pretty please vote this up to let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. Now, when I told SYNTELL that this is what we were doing, you had some, just some thoughts that you had expressed, and I wanted you to reiterate that before we roll into this.
Yeah, from the last I heard, according to Twitter yesterday, some of Ezra Miller's projects had been paused as a result of him just acting completely out of pocket over the past couple of months. He's done everything from slapping fans. I think he assaulted somebody playing darts earlier today, threatening to kill Ku Klux Klan members. He's just been in his bag. All right. So this new piece of information should be interesting.
So my experience with him, I've only had one, was at the Justice League premiere, the original release. At the premiere, he showed some eccentric behavior for sure. He was jumping up on the bleachers and stuff like that. It seemed like he was just very enthusiastic and greeting fans in a way that is unorthodox. But I was like, all right, well, that's just, that's his style. He's very excited. What are you gonna say? What are you gonna do? Hey, he's excited. What? But after the movie had finished and there was the after party rather, he happened to be in front of me and I'm like, hey, Ezra, and he was super nice to me initially. We took a photo together. He was super chill. And I forgot to ask for a chara. The night went on, and then later on, we ran into him again. I was like, hey, Ezra, is it cool if we get a photo with you and her? He's like, okay. I'm like, Jesus Christ. You could say no, if that's how you feel. And then something had happened where someone else was in front of him, and it was I forget exactly what had happened, but he just had this really how would I phrase this? He had it was this sort of just annoyed attitude with us is all I got from it. He's like, hold on a second, just a moment. Okay. And it's that kind of smile, it's a veneer, he's not really happy to be doing this, but he'll do it for us. And so I guess I should give him credit for taking the photo with us, but it was unlike anything I'd experienced in Hollywood in a long, long time. Even to this date, since that movie came out, I don't think I've had another experience like that with any celebrities where they had that kind of attitude with me. And I was like, well, maybe he had a long night because of so many people asking him for photos and whatever. But it's still stuck in my my memory. I get that you've had a night of people talking to you, but this is part of the job though. You do press junkets and stuff. People being excited around you is part of it. That just it didn't rub me the right way. And Achara quickly forgave it. She's like, look, he's just tired, okay? Jesus, he's had a long night. He didn't have to do that for us. I'm like, all right. But then all these stories started coming out. And I'm like, yeah, so maybe I wasn't so fucking crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Reject Nation, we are going to talk about a subject that I'm sure will be sensitive for many. Leave your thoughts down below on what you think about all this, if you've already heard, and if you haven't heard, we'll go through it all and we'll give our thoughts. We are talking about Oscar fan favorite cheer moment. Zack, they deserve it. I know. We're talking about Ezra Miller today. It's being reported by Rolling Stone. Warner Brothers held an emergency meeting about the actor's future with the company. The meeting was to discuss pausing all future projects involving Ezra Miller and that toilet. A lot of thoughts on that, as well as any public appearance involving the actor himself. And this is coming hot off the heels of many alarming things, needless to say. So you might have heard recently that he was arrested, and in fairness, that wasn't a bad mugshot,
No, it was it was a great mugshot. Celebrity lucky to have that mugshot.
Celebrity mugshots can be a nasty business. And I was like, you know what? At least he got a not so bad. If it was a bad mugshot, this situation probably would have been way worse, honestly. The situation of a mugshot can be so much more telling of just how bad he was in that moment.
It looks like they got time to prepare for their mugshot.
Yeah, like Nick Nolte's or Mel Gibson's. You're like, no, they were messed up that day. So where this stemmed from was according to reports.
So Ezra Miller, I forgot, during the DC Fan Fest, I forgot what it's called. Is it called Fan Fest? Yeah. I remember Ezra Miller's presentation in particular being less than enthusiastic about having to do it. Just all right, am I done? Can I go home now? Is that okay with you? Jesus.
They're like, oh no, they were messed up that day. So where this stemmed from was, according to reports, Miller became agitated while at a karaoke bar, grabbed the microphone from a woman singing, and then reportedly lunged after another man who was playing darts. The couple filed a restraining order against Miller, and then the article goes on to say, Miller reportedly threatened to burn a couple in Hawaii last week, according to court documents surrounding their arrest. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I am so sorry. Stoyan Kojokarov and his wife Nigel Hayes filed a temporary restraining order against Miller after alleging that Miller burst into their bedroom and threatened to burn them.
Oh.
And of course, I'm sure many of you already remember the whole situation years ago, what feels like, or was it a year ago? I don't know, where Ezra Miller was caught on camera choking a female fan. I've had some people say it was just a stunt, it was a goof. And I've heard other people say that it wasn't, he got aggressive, and that they probably paid that woman to not do anything about it. The thing is, I don't know, and you probably don't know, because they never said shit about it, so we don't know what happened. Right? And I thought it was bizarre with this whole thing with Warner Brothers of the firing and all the drama. Like, every time we talk about Warner Brothers, I feel like there's some weird drama slanted with them,
Absolutely.
right? There's like stained with that. A lot of people who've been fired or been replaced, a lot of people felt it was unjust or unfair, and then other people who got to keep working that they thought was unfair. And then Ezra Miller, they were like, let's just not say anything.
We can't afford another one of these.
And now it seems like that people are finally actually saying something. And I do think he should be held accountable for his actions. These are very violent displays of behavior. And it sounds like a man who is quite neurotic. Like, I don't know this man. 99.9% of you guys don't know this man either. It sounds like he has some real, like, mental health struggles that he has to deal with. And so he needs help. At the same time, if just because a person has mental health struggles, just because they are suffering with something, to give the benefit of the doubt in that regard, I mean, it seems pretty obvious, that doesn't give an excuse to the behavior, nor should he just be allowed to get a pass on this. It totally makes sense to me, because this behavior is ongoing. This is a continuous thing. Like that choking fan incident, I don't remember how long ago that was, but enough time has passed to get to the point where Ezra Miller could have, done enough work on himself to not be attacking people, right?
Yeah, instead of allowing it to get that much worse.
Like, I think about it's coming off of the heels of Will Smith physically assaulting Chris Rock. He assaulted individuals, and the amount of condemnation that people have thrown Will Smith, well, fair's fair. Ezra Miller should definitely be really condemned for these actions.
Fired from the Academy.
If we're pausing upcoming Will Smith joints, we should absolutely be pausing upcoming Ezra Miller joints.
Yeah, because the article's not saying they
said
discussed
it.
like replacing him or firing him, even though that's what this heavily alludes to.
Implies, yeah.
I feel like he really got away with it before, and he can't just get away with it again.
No.
That's basically where I'm standing with
Hey,
this.
it's
Well,
a little,
maybe
it's
we're
a
at the
little
point now,
different
too,
to be,
where
choking some rando fan at a carnival or wherever the hell they were, and then, slapping a brother on stage in front of a bunch of comfortable rich white folks. One is going to warrant a punishment more than the other.
Yeah, I mean, never mind the fact that it's multiple strikes that's happened, but you did that at the Academy, so that's far more egregious.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, because, God, can you imagine if Will Smith broke into somebody's house like, I'm gonna burn it all down? I don't think Hancock 2 would be made.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like these incidences that happen with him, they don't happen at posh events. That they don't happen at the rich white people events. So it's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay. As long as
on
the
the wrist.
rich white people are safe, we're okay.
He's misunderstood.
We
He's
don't
misunderstood.
we don't know who that lady is that got choked. We're fine.
Yo, I want to know, who I feel bad for, and I don't have the context of how it went down, but I have a story in my head. So there's a lady sitting there singing karaoke, and he's like, boo, this song, it sucks. Let me get up there and snatch the mic, and this song sucks. And the poor dude playing darts is like, what's going on? I'll kill you. And it's like, I don't know any way you can construct a story where it won't sound crazy, where you go from karaoke to bludgeoning a man with darts.
And breaking into their home.
And then breaking it into their home later on. Like, who writes this? It sounds like a Quentin Tarantino moment. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's like OJ breaking into the thing to get his paraphernalia back. That's some proper crazy right there. That's
I feel like he really got away with it before, and he can't just get away with it again.
No.
That's basically where I'm standing with this.
Well, and maybe we're at the point now too where love of the Snyderverse will no longer eclipse just like needing to address bad behavior.
Yeah.
Like the whole movement is about accountability, or part of it is about accountability over entertainment. So
Now that's also being reported that there was some insider on the set of The Flash who said they didn't reveal who said this, so maybe it's just a rumor that he was having like a lot of sort of mental breakdowns while on set. Like apparently Ezra would get a thought in his head and be like, I don't know what I'm doing. In his defense, I feel like they haven't known what they're doing with that Flash movie for the longest time.
well, I mean, in isolation, that would seem like, yeah, a set that would be enough to drive anybody into sort of a confusing, mixed up place or whatever, or maybe, yeah, equate to some weird on-set behavior, but this does smack of a situation that has only boiled over and gotten worse, because it's like with the removal of time from the choking incident, it's like if nothing else had ever happened, I would be inclined to believe, like, oh yeah, maybe it was some kind of weird prank between somebody they had a connection with that I know nothing about, but now it does feel more like the latter of like, maybe they paid that person to keep quiet in hopes they could contain this, and it's just not working out. I mean, I saw a tweet from Ryan Airy this afternoon kind of identifying it as addict behavior, and I could absolutely imagine that, and that's something that, you know, you can't really control on your own after a certain amount of time, and when you're
What's up?
So, why is it when Ezra goes off the hinges and he's slapping folks and assaulting people with darts and karaoke and choking out fans, like we immediately straight path to mental health? It's the mental health of Ezra. But I ain't hearing now nan word about Will Smith's mental health. Like,
No, I heard a little bit about that.
Did you?
Yeah,
Did
well,
you?
well, what I heard right away was Will Smith going through some shit. That's mental health. It's just not called mental health. That's called a fucked up relationship. But that's still mental health because it's taxing his mental. And after a while, it just got to be a lot for him. And he just snapped. It was the moment that he snapped.
No, I certainly believe it does. It probably is mental health. I'm not saying it's not, but it's like, I mean, the immediate jump to mental health justifying some of these actions or how we should have a more understanding stance for this type of behavior is so immediate. It's so immediate. It's just puzzling. I just see like a trend in that. So that's all. I mean, straight to mental health immediately.
I think I went definitely straight to mental health with Will Smith slapping a dude in front of 30 million viewers. Like at least Ezra Miller had the consideration to do it, you know, in a back alley or something, or at a karaoke bar. Will Smith was brazen with it, you know. You got to pick your places to commit your crimes. That's all.
Yeah. No, you're right, and I do hope Ezra Miller does find the right help.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, you don't want somebody to be struggling
under this much pressure and in the position of such notoriety and such attention from everyone around. You know, it's only a matter of time before all that boils over.
The way he's talked about his past experiences from the little glimpses I've been able to gather, it sounds like he's had some type of, you know, traumatic. Anyone who displays this kind of behavior obviously would have some type of traumatic, unresolved things that he has to deal with. And yeah, talking about the whole thing with addiction, a lot of this is theoretical and a lot of it is probable, regardless that he has to be held accountable for this stuff. And I don't know what the decision is for it. Like, you can't just replace him in the Flash movie at the same time. Like, they need to freaking finish this damn movie. And weirdly, I'm like, well, if there is a character you could replace, I feel like you could actually replace
He's
the
the
Flash.
most replaceable.
Like, I've heard fans already being like, they should have just made Grant Gustin him in the DCEU. And I'm like, well, yeah, you're doing a multiverse movie, so sure, just, you know, get a different actor to play the Flash. They've already had like 14 Batmans going on. 2 of them alone are in this one movie. So I'm like, sure, get a different Flash actor. I think it's so odd of how they've been so
for a second. I think that if you are an actor, you should really consider the replaceability of your character that you're portraying. And if you're a fan of the Flash and you've read the comics and you've read like the Flashpoint narratives and seen it all that, you're dealing with multiple timelines where people can be switched out very easily. Your character is highly replaceable.
Yeah.
So your actions should reflect the fact that I can be replaced very easily if I act out of pocket. That's all I'm saying. Just, you know, as an actor, whoever future actors that are going to be playing, you know, research your role and see how replaceable your role is, because the Flash is highly replaceable.
Yeah. I mean, it did make me wonder why, after the controversy, why he continued to be included in the DCEU. I'm like, this is very questionable behavior, and it seems highly risky. The slap incident, I'm like, how did he talk his way out of that one? Because having met the guy, and I'm like, something's slightly off about this dude. I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's something definitely off about him. Like, just watching him and the way he was acting towards Achara, I was like, something weird about this guy, I'm telling you. And then the slap thing came in, I'm like, see, I told you guys. And then to continue forward and just forge ahead, I'm thinking maybe Warner Brothers is like, yo, we bought the bad horse, but we just gotta race it.
Yeah.
This whole-
yeah. Well, the good thing is that it's already in the can, right? Like
Yeah.
the movie's done. It's in the can.
The thing about it is, like, everything's falling apart. We just, who do we have left? Wonder Woman, Jason Momoa, and Ezra Miller. It's like, okay, then we're down to 2. Like, it's getting bad.
It is getting bad. Even Henry Cavill's looking back like, ooh, glad I dipped. This Witcher thing is kind of working out.
Yeah, exactly.
They've been so tight-lipped, it would just seem like he wouldn't suffer any repercussions for this type of behavior. And I don't feel like this is just another thing of like, whoa, culture, cancel culture. Like, no, this is not okay. People have to be held to equal standards, especially in the parent company, Warner Brothers. So I don't feel like he should just get a pass on all this. And it's crazy because it sounds like they have like so many things lined up with him to begin with. The Fantastic Beast movie, that's coming out. And then, you know, of course, the Flash movie as well. And of course, with that, there's probably future projects in development to use Ezra Miller as well.
Well, not to mention that this Flash has 3 versions of Ezra Miller,
Yeah.
so it's like triple the Johnny Depp problem all in one movie. Plus, you've got Dumbledore working out, you know?
I mean, I guess the question is like the forgiveness scale of celebrities weighs depending on whoever the individual is that is casting judgment, right? For me, I could talk about like what I feel is appropriate to do. If he actually, you know, is doing the actual work to better himself, if he is an alcoholic or something, if he is going to rehab, if he is getting some intensive therapy to truly work through these issues, you know, like he's a young guy. He's only like 29 or something like that. He's had a lot of success, and the way he's talked about things, it sounds like he's had a lot of traumatic experiences. He grew up in the entertainment industry, which for many child actors is really troubling times.
Yeah.
So it's not far-fetched to me that he would have an aggressive behavior. It's not far-fetched. Again, though, not excusable. The thing is that there has to be some type of display of actual homework put in. You can't just say, I'll change, or release some statement apologizing. I feel like the right thing to do is to be an inspiration. The same way how we were able to like see Robert Downey Jr. in a new light.
Yeah.
Someone like, oh
Yeah.
wow, their problems were really front and center, but look at them now. And I think Ezra Miller kind of needs to do a similar thing. I don't feel like we can just enable him.
Yeah, and it feels like they're in a position where if Ezra Miller does make the right choices and does agree to maybe address some of this behavior, you know, they could run their Flash movie, take a break from that character for a little while, and then either reinstate or correct down the road with whatever that movie establishes. Because, I mean, to me, I'm sitting here as thinking about WB. They seem to have a track record of being finicky when it comes to how to progress with their DC films, especially films in general sometimes, especially on the big franchise scale. So I'm sitting here wondering, I know they've had to have gone, well, do we need to recast again? How do we not have to scrap this entire movie? And it seems like a lot of that could also come down to whatever Ezra Miller and, you know, his camp decides to do, their camp decides to do.
You know, all of this comes down to money. All this comes down to money, right? And I don't know why. I got, 3 little words to solve your problem.
Okay.
Reality TV. So, it's 2 words. It's a joke.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm looking at you
yeah.
like this.
So, what I'm trying to say is, if you got this eccentric actor on set, whatever, don't fire him. Don't pause his projects. You shoot the behind the scenes and you put that out as a show. Everyone would fucking lose their minds. It would blow up bigger than the Kardashians. That might be a little bit mean and kind of punching down a little bit, even though he's got way more money than all of us. If it legit has mental health issues, then that's punching down, I guess. But to me, it's like, if he's happy to be there, if he's happy to like continue doing the thing, and Warner Brothers is happy to have him, and he's acting a fool on set, make money off of that shit. You know?
I don't see Warner Brothers taking a loss for this.
Monetize that shit. Throw it.
Because I can tell you this much right now. I promise you they're not throwing that last Flash project out the window. That ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know, they'll drop like 9 different statements, you know, probably give money to a cause and all that. But that movie's coming out.
Yeah.
Regardless of how you feel about it.
Man, I'm telling you, if they did a reality show on that shit, it would kill. It would crush.
That's my Ezra.
Yeah.
Dude, so it does present a sort of fascinating and very woeful juncture for WB to me, because it's like they're just trying to get their DC universe back on track, and it seems like it's gotten to a point where they maybe wanted to keep this as silent as possible and just can't anymore. And so I don't envy the position that they're in, because it seems like it's a mess for everyone.
Yeah. Patron of the day show. No, sure. Yeah, guys. What do you think is the proper course of action here? Should he be? I feel like he has to disappear from the spotlight for a while. You can't keep a guy like that in the spotlight.
Him and Will Smith can hang out
and expect him to
slap
really
each other.
Grow.
I slap you. You choke me.
Yeah. Oh, 1,000%. But all right, guys.
And then let's go out and play some darts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love ending these videos. Thanks for being here. Bye.
Okay.
No.
Whoever wins, get to burn each other's place down.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, listen, I know what Will Smith did is horrible. It's a horrible thing. I know people feel some kind of way and they want his head on a spike. And I get that. I totally get it. But yo, Will did one thing though. Yo, this dude is consistent. Will ain't breaking in folks' houses talking about I'm gonna burn it down. Will ain't choking out fans. I mean, at least he hit somebody he knew. I mean, Will ain't marching up on top of the karaoke stage, snatching up microphones and threatening, you know, civil dart throwers. It's like this is a lot. This is a lot. And if I don't hear the same chanting that I've heard on my timeline and everything else about fire his ass, press charges, I want that same energy. That's all. I want the same energy. I want the t-shirts. I want the banners. I want the stickers and the buttons.
You gotta
fire his ass.
You gotta be more. You gotta cut him some slack though, man, because like unlike Will Smith, he is white.
I see. You see me tap dancing around that, right? You see me. I'm Fred Astaire around that very obvious fact right now. Thank you for saying it. But yeah, I just want that same energy. I want the same energy, ladies and gentlemen.
I think the thing with Will Smith is. Because that's an obvious comparison just because it's recent. His clout is so much bigger than Ezra Miller's because he's been this person for so long, like an inspiration. Ezra Miller ain't an inspiration to nobody. No kid's like, oh, I want to be like Ezra when I grow up. You know, choking out dudes and playing darts. You know, no one's, that's nothing. With Will Smith, like, I watched him as a kid, you know? I looked up to him, and, like, his energy is infectious. Like, he's super inspiring, and then to be the same dude that says violence is not the answer, to be slapping a brother on stage, I'm just like, oh, that hurts.
Yo, he said it within the same 30-minute gap.
Yeah.
After this, violence is not the answer. But like, your hand is still shaking from the slap, Will. What are you talking about? And listen, I love Will.
Yeah.
But even I can see the hypocrisy in that. I'm like, is it though, dog? Really?
Yeah. Well, hey, love makes you do crazy things, you know? But so back to Ezra Miller though, like he doesn't have that level of clout, and I think that's why like he's been able to sort of dodge these bullets, because even though he's part of these major motion pictures and taking huge risks that should get you fired, I guess it's not as bad of a look because he's not that. I know it's ironic. He's not as big as, like, let's say Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp's huge, so when some shit comes out about him and his wife, he's gonna get fired. Ezra Miller, it's like a lot of people don't even know the name Ezra Miller. Like, go outside and then go, do you know who Ezra Miller is? Half the people are gonna say no. When you say to that same individual, yo, Ezra Miller choked this random white lady out.
Yo, can you imagine if a dude named Hector choked out a white lady, or a dude named Lamont checked out a white lady? Can you imagine what would have happened? Oh my God!
Right, but my point is that because he's not as big as Johnny Depp or Will Smith or any of them, like maybe there's a way that they like, well, Apparently this hasn't, like, the forest is not on fire. We're okay.
We can save it.
We can
save
yeah.
it.
We're okay. I think that was the thinking, and so like the PR wasn't a PR nightmare until now. I mean, now he's the lead of this movie, and this shit's coming out, and it's like Flash star breaks into someone's home and threatens to burn it to the ground. That's a bad look.
But you know why I think that's a little bit of bullshit? Is because I can understand if this was Warner Brothers like first go around with controversy and the whole thing about the Snyder cut and everything else and the history behind why the Snyder cut is so important. That should be enough evidence to say you have been down this path before. So therefore, when those first incidents first started bubbling up, you should be prepared. You should have been ahead of all of this. You over here allegedly, maybe allegedly paying off somebody that may have been choked out from Ezra's rage, and you're like, we can save it. And I'm like, you didn't learn the lesson.
Yeah.
We're here again because you refused to learn the lesson.
Yeah.
So I don't feel bad for Warner Brothers. You deserve this. I
don't know. No. I think that maybe what happened was during the slap, Warner Brothers was dealing with some other crazy shit at the same time. Potentially. You have to understand, in the last 2 years, so much has happened. So much has happened in the last couple of years that this little choking white lady out that no one knows the name of, like, no, it's fine. Maybe it was a joke. It was a joke. She asked to be choked out. Could you please choke me just for the camera? Like, we don't know what happened.
Can you imagine if Idris Elba choked out a girl? Can you imagine?
She would have liked it.
I don't know. There's probably going to be some interesting comments. This is my opinion. It does not hold firm on Jaby's channel or reflect Jaby's thoughts. This is SYNTELL's opinion. This is some bullshit. It's just my opinion. Fire his ass.
His projects being paused and whatnot is probably an indication that this is not boding well for his future with Warner Brothers. The thing is, like, the actions have been inconsistent. It's been weird. Like, okay, for instance, Johnny Depp being removed, but Amber Heard staying on for Aquaman 2. It's just a little bit inconsistent. It's weird. And so I think everything is just a measure and a gamble, and they're like, oh God, okay, we're trying to make millions of dollars here. We're investing millions of dollars. What do we do? Okay. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of moving parts. We are analyzing this one angle. They're thinking about a lot of stuff.
No, not one angle. There have been multiple examples. I mean, this isn't an isolated incident.
There's two. There's two.
Yeah, I mean, and one of the incidents has a part two. Like, he cussed out somebody and was like, I'm gonna find you, and then shows up at their crib. Like, and all I'm getting is like, well, you gotta understand, it's a delicate situation. It's not delicate. This motherfucker's crazy. It's not delicate. It's not sensitive. It's not, we need to think this through a little bit more. He showed up at their crib. Like, yeah. I'm probably the one that's wrong, though, right? Because I'm not reading the proper tea leaves. I should give Ezra a second chance. You're right. It won't happen again. It's
written in the Constitution that all white people get a second chance.
Yo, he showed up at their crib, though, dog. That's the craziest. Can you imagine waking up, you faded because you're from the karaoke bar, and Ezra Miller standing over you? You thought you could get away? Yeah. Oh my God, yo, that's just nuts. That's absolute nuts. That's an awesome story, though.
All I care about, at the end of the day, after all of this nonsense, what I care about is, do half white people get a second chance?
We're only going to take away half your projects.
Yeah. Because if half white people get a second chance, I'm breaking into bitches' homes. I'm just saying what's up.
I'm just saying what's up.
Just hollering at you.
You didn't leave a big enough tip.
You do good. I'm going to go now.
I came here to help you work on your next karaoke song.
Yeah. I was going to choke you out, but half of the bad already did its thing, so I got to go now. I got half my bad in there.
Oh boy. Oh man. Yo, thank you, Ezra Miller, for this moment. Yeah. And may you find the help you need.
Hey man, he can make a comeback, and people would cheer for him. And people,
I love a redemption story. I do.
People would cheer for Will Smith as well. I think people are rooting for Will Smith. So, you know.
No, I mean, I just want the same energy.
All's fair and where there's money to be made. So,
yeah.
You guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed some of that. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell icon, all notifications, both the sub. Follow The Real Rejects at youtube.com/The Real Rejects. And check out SYNTELL with the intel at youtube.com/SYNTELL. And that's it for now. I'm Jaby Koay. This is...
Hey, it's your boy SYNTELL.
Peace out.